Okay, let's start this. So I will go full screen here and then bring this up. Have that, and we're good. Wait, let's run. Okay, here we go. So this is Georgia against Michigan State again, the Maui Invitational. This game's notable because it was literally a tale of two halves for him. First half, he was brutally bad. Second half, he just went nuts. And right now, he'll be starting off guarding Cassius Winston. And again, he does a decent job staying in front of speedy guards because he's an athletic guy. Just a matter of awareness and defensive mentality more than anything. He kind of got burned on that little screen. He went the wrong way to start. And he'll be playing point guard, or at least he'll be bringing the ball up the floor a lot for Georgia. I don't really see that as a role in the NBA for him. I see him more of an off-ball shooter, scorer. He had a decent drive there, too. Again, he has a good first step. That's just weird. You want to see him, catch the ball. And again, so he'll be bringing the ball up a lot. He's pretty passive in this first half, though. Second half is where he really turns on the Jets. There was some sort of illegal screen there. Some more background info. He's 6'5", 225, 40% field goal shooter, 29 from 3. Not great shooting numbers, but his free throw percentage is 77%, which usually translates well into a good NBA three-point shooter. So I expect him to do better from 3, given his free throw percentage. Right there, Aaron Henry will be shooting 2 free throws. He was guarding Aaron Henry in the post, and he probably should have gone up, but he didn't. He tried to get a cheap steal down low, and it ultimately led to a foul call. I don't really like that as part of his game. He has enough arm length to be able to just go up and contest that straight up instead of trying to reach for a steal down low. Dumb turnover. Strong kid, though. And this guy was supposed to be part of the 2020 high school class, but he reclassified and ended up coming to Georgia. He was probably open on that cut. Number 4 didn't hit him. See, he got by the guy. He just did a weird floater. You'd like to see him attack the rim and get a cleaner layup, or at least shot attempt. Right there, he got kind of tangled up. Let Cassius Winston go by him. It's a good pass. He's been assigned Cassius Winston for this game as well. Winston's a quick guard. He was the preseason favorite for National Player of the Year, too. So again, it just shows the defensive potential that Edwards has. It's just a matter of his mentality, his overall effort, and awareness on that end. Offensively, shot selection is definitely an issue with him, as we'll see many times throughout this half. Settles for a lot of tough twos, a lot of fadeaway jump shots. Not really a big distributor, only averaged 2.8 assists per game. And compare that to 2.5 turnovers a game, not great. Did a really nice job getting over that screen, and look, right there, that's all you need to see in terms of his potential. He fights through that screen, and he ends up getting a block on Cassius Winston, who's a very crafty finisher around the rim. And again, the potential is there. We'll see it here again. Fights over that screen well, stays in front, moves his feet well, goes straight up, gets a block. Really impressive stuff. You just got to see that more often. Ooh, good back cut. He totally froze Aaron Henry there. Aaron Henry's a pretty quick, long, versatile wing. Edwards just totally shook him on that back cut. And on that finish, you'll see it again. You'd like to see him go up with his right hand here. He tries to go for a weird lefty reverse. He gets a foul called, but I think he could have dunked that if he wanted to. And we'll see his free throws here as well. Again, 77% free throw shooter. His form is solid. I'm not really concerned about his mechanics in terms of his shooting. It's more about his shot selection. And I think that's pretty clear. Oh, and here's the stat line. Monday against Dayton. That would have been the day before today, or the day before this game was played. 6 points, 2 of 10 from the floor. Not great. Very inconsistent player. But when he's on, he can really be on, and we'll see that in the second half video. And these free throws are solid. He makes both of them. Yep, clean form, solid release. Little profile of Anthony Edwards right there. Interesting stat here, too. His two favorite NBA players are Dwayne Wade and Victor Oladipo. What do the three of these players, Edwards, Wade, and Oladipo, all have in common? They all played for Tom Crean in college. Wade was obviously on those really good Marquette teams, went to a Final Four in 2003. Oladipo on some really good Indiana teams with Cody Zeller and now Anthony Edwards at Georgia. Makes both. See him run the floor somewhat well. Not really involved on that fast break, though. Another steal. This is where you maybe want to see him fill the lane a little bit better. He kind of just stands in the middle of the floor. I'd like to see him relocate to a corner because Michigan State had two guys that were going to prevent him from getting to the rim. You'd like to see him flare out to the corner, give his guard a little bit more space. Once again, on Winston. Does a good job staying with him on the cut, but then you see he gets lost in the screen, leads wide open Winston three. He knocks it down. It's one of those things where he just needs to get more experience. Just needs to be able to fight through those screens because he just totally lost Cassius Winston in the NBA off-ball movement. Like if you're playing the Warriors, where he might be a teammate of Stephen Clay, but if you're playing against the Warriors or a team that moves really well off the ball, he's going to get eaten alive. Now he's guarding Aaron Henry. Not much really going on there. So he and Rashawn Hammond are playing a little two-man game right now. And that's one of those shots where you're kind of shaking your head a little bit. Only one other person touched the ball there. Bad shot leads to a long miss, leads to a fast break, leads to a layup on the other end for Michigan State. All could have been avoided with a little bit more ball movement. It's weird. He can be really passive at times, and then he'll be oddly aggressive. So he just needs to do a way better job of picking his spots. So he's on Aaron Henry again in the far corner. Good elevation on that rebound. That's another thing he has too in his bag. He's a pretty good rebounder for his size. He averaged 5 a game at Georgia. And he has the pace and the athletic ability to just grab it and just go. So you'd like to see him be a bit more aggressive in the fast break after he gets that rebound. Because he has the speed to just blow by people. And right there, he just was late rotating to Cassius Winston, and Cassius Winston, he's a veteran. He's going to take advantage of that every time. Edwards speeds by him. Winston just slow, nice and easy. Gets by. Easy layup. See, that's one of those plays. Again, you're not really in love with the shot he ends up taking, but the way he just shook Aaron Henry was pretty impressive. And then right there, look at, he's pretty inactive right there. He was guarding Aaron Henry for that three. He totally just lost him and just camping out in the lane looking for a rebound. I'd like to see him at least get out there. But again, he has all the NBA scoring moves in his bag. It's just a matter of actually making the shots. Posting up right now on Gabe Brown. Now he's flaring out to the corner. It's an interesting shot. Did a good job crashing the glass, but now he's going to jog back. And see, I'd love to see him push it way more in those situations. That worked. Refuses the screen. Does a little arm euro in a way, and he just dunks it. That's the thing. He needs, like, if he picks his spots well, and he'll get better with this over more seasoning, I think. I think he could be a really solid scorer in the NBA. We'll see it again here. Yep. Good job refusing the screen. Again, he picked his spots, and look at that. No help. Attacked the rim with ferocity. Good overall play. Just got to do that more often. And there's Mike Schmitz. Probably the best. I think he's the best draft person in terms of media people that you'll see. I think he's very good. There are a lot of good guys, though. There's Sam Vecini from The Athletic is good. John Hollinger from The Athletic is good. So he's calling for a little screen here. Like, split the screen right there. You would have liked him to split the screen. He made the right read because the big guy came out and hedged, and they were trapping him in the corner. Made the right read. You just like to see it a little bit more methodical. It looked like he was kind of shocked by what the defense did there. And he ultimately made the right play, but he was just a few seconds slow, leading to a bad pass and an ultimate turnover. So he got the rebound, and now he's pushing it. That's what I like about him a lot, too. He'll grab it and go. But I think he has enough speed to the point where he can just grab it and start sprinting, and then he can finish on dudes. I think he can be John Wall-like in that aspect. In terms of just getting the ball and just flying. Caught in no man's land there. We'll skip these free throws. Caught in no man's land there, led to a dunk. Not really much he could do, but a bit more discipline would be nice there. At least have him pick one. And that is a turnover and a half. You dunk. Layup. Nothing he can do there. Get the screen. He got called for a travel here. I don't really think that's a travel. It looks like he took 2 steps. I don't think that would be called in the NBA. Nonetheless, though, maybe you'd like to see a little bit more finesse in terms of his handling, because he picked up his dribble early, kind of led to awkward footwork, making it easy for the referee to call a travel. And he, even after the travel was called, he kind of forced up a weird floater. Didn't really have much of a chance of going in anyway. He'll set a never mind. Different play. See, at least if your big guy is gonna come out and set a screen for you, at least look to attack it initially. On that play, the big guy wasn't even done setting the screen, and he had already dished it off to the other wing. And that was a good got steal there. That was a really good sequence from him. He was caught a little bit flat-footed, but he was able to use his length to kind of get a deflection on that entry pass to Xavier Tillman. Then he ultimately ended up with the steal. Granted, it ended in a turnover for him, but he's actually kind of an opportunistic defender in a way as well. He averaged over a steal a game at Georgia. But it's just a matter of awareness and effort, consistent effort, I should say, on that end that really separates him from being seen as a positive defender on that end. He's not careless and effortless as much as, I don't know, a LaMelo Ball, but he's certainly not the most engaged defender. He'll cut through here. Now he's in the corner. Nice little play. Wasn't really involved in that, though. Fast forward up here. Okay, so on that play, it was an inbound play, not really looking like a great shot. He kind of did a Dirk turnaround. And again, that was early in the shot clock, and nobody else touched the ball. You don't really like that. See, on this play, he would do a decent job of not overreacting to that pass to the top of the key, but then he just didn't do anything, and he was caught 2-on-1, but you'd like to see a better hustle there. But he didn't do much there. Good job crashing the glass. He saw an opportunity there, but now he got to get back on defense, and he's kind of jogging. So we're at the under 8 media timeout, it looks like right now. And Edwards is out right now, but he comes back in right after this play because I think this is a Georgia turnover. So we'll just watch this. Actually, no, never mind. Might be the next play. Yeah, and there's a turnover, and then I believe Edwards is back in. Yep, there's Tom Crean telling him to go back in. Again, this Anthony Edwards, for as inefficient as he was, he didn't really have much help, so you can't really put too much emphasis on that. You know, it's kind of like a Cole Anthony thing, where Cole Anthony kind of struggled this year, but he didn't really have much help around him. Anthony Edwards kind of in the same boat, except his decision-making was probably worse than Cole Anthony. And his defense was probably worse as well. But he's already back in. And then he's out a little bit later, and I believe he plays the entire second half because he has an insanely hot hand in the second half. Again, he scored 33 points. I don't think he scores again this half, FYI. But there are still some valuable things to take away from this half. We'll skip these free throws. Oops. There we go. And again, here he is bringing the ball up the floor. I don't really see this as a role for him in the NBA. I'm sure he can do it, but I would rather have him off the ball. That's why I would love his fit in Atlanta next to Trae Young. I think that would be awesome for him and for Trae. Assuming he can become a better defender, which I think he can. Here's the thing. I am actually optimistic as a defender as he just refuses to help and leads to a dunk. But I'm actually optimistic in him as a defender just because I think he'll figure it out. And really, I don't think he expended that much effort. And again, he had to carry a major load offensively, so maybe he wasn't trying his best on defense, which is it's not ideal, but it's not a death sentence either. It's like a jump ball there. Yeah. Yeah, just a play where he just refuses to help. He'll be up there, just walking. No, not a care in the world. And see, that's another shot where you'd like to see him get a bit deeper into the paint before hoisting up an NBA range 3. But that's kind of the stuff you have to live with. Foul on the ground, it looks like. That'll be free throws, so we'll skip these. Yeah, in terms of NBA fit, though, I would love to see him in Atlanta. You know, he is from Georgia. He went to Georgia. That's still a very cool scenario. And then he'll play next to Trae Young. And again, DeAndre Hunter is going to be a plus defender. So maybe that can cover his early lapses. But overall, that team isn't great defensively. But I think Edwards can grow to at least an adequate defender. More free throws here, I believe. So we will skip through these. Oh, whoops. Backwards here. Big wave Billy Walton. Great announcer. I was watching a 2002 NBA Finals replay, and Bill Walton was on the call, and he was totally normal. Actually a really good analyst and color guy. So that was kind of funny to see. So Edwards is guarding Winston right now, as he was earlier in the first half. Now he has the ball with him. The screen. And that's where he kills you. Yep. Again, that's just knowing the scouting report. Cassius Winston is one of the best manipulators of ball screens in the 2020 draft class. And Edwards needs to go over that screen because Cassius Winston, that's where he gets most of his points. It's out of pick and roll. And a defender, and he'll shake a defender, and then he'll pull up for a jump shot, just like that. Edwards just got to know the scouting report. Granted, this is early in the season, but still got to know. He's been playing for college basketball for 3 years. You should know his tendencies. Decent job moving in front of Aaron Henry there, too. Like, he kind of walled off that drive. And again, that's the type of promise he shows on defense. And that's why I'm not really ready to give up on him as a defender, despite his lack of effort and intensity on that end this season. And usually I'm not super high on these guys that have physical tools and just need to figure it out or put it together. But with Edwards, it's such a weak draft class overall. I'm one of the people who thinks that this draft is probably the weakest since 2013. And with him, you might as well gamble on his upside. Because there's really nobody else outside of maybe LaMelo Ball with the upside of Anthony Edwards. And I think I might like Anthony Edwards better than LaMelo Ball. They're 1-2 on my big board either way. Right now, I believe I have Anthony Edwards 2, but that's easily changeable. Not really involved in that play either. The second half of this game will be really fun, though, because he is just on fire. 33 points in the second half. So that'll show you a lot of what he can be at the NBA level. So it's a media timeout, and he is out until around a minute left, so I'll fast forward through that. Oops. You gotta remember too, this is Anthony Edwards' 6th college game. So remember, he's young, and the second half will show you a lot of his positives. This was more of a negative half for him, just because he wasn't really that involved in scoring. I believe that didn't count, but it showed nice athleticism in bounds. But it wasn't like a solid half for him. Only 4 points again, 1 of 4 from the field for the half. But the second half, it's a lot better. So that's why I think I mentioned this earlier, but this game is an absolutely perfect scouting report about Anthony Edwards, because it's really a tale of two halves for him. Oh. There's Tommy. See, again, in that situation right there, he drives, doesn't really see an opening. He tries to force up this awkward-looking floater, and it doesn't even come close. It's an ugly miss. At that point, use an escape dribble to either just bring it back out and maybe take a pull-up jump shot if you're really that dead set on scoring, or just reset the offense and kick it out to someone. And this is another shot right here, where, like, in that one, his form looks really ugly. But if you look at it, it's weird. The top of his form looked really bad, but his bottom was very sound. So it's just a matter of getting experience, getting those shots up, I think. And again, just picking his spots, that's the biggest thing. He's not a good decision maker right now. And that's something where you've seen a lot of guys go both ways from college to the NBA in terms of college questionable decision makers to either solid players or just totally burn out, you know? So it'll be interesting to see what he has in store at the NBA level. Doesn't really do much for the rest of the half here. Only 19 seconds left. There's going to be a foul call in like 6 seconds. That's about it. There's one defensive play at the end of this half where I think you'll see it later, where he is the top of like a little trap and he just doesn't put his hands up on defense, where it's totally warranted where he should put his hands up. He's just kind of guarding, going through the motions. So there's a foul. And you'll see it here. George will run a little trap, and Edwards just won't put his hands up. See right there? And right here. Just put your hands up, bro. You know? But yeah, so that's the first half. So I will stop it there, and then I will upload the second half of this game right after I upload this one. And so yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for the second half video where Anthony Edwards just goes bananas. And yeah, we'll see you soon.